Snowstorm's coming. Gotta get ready. Hold on. There. Bring it on, fucking snow. Piece of shit. Or pieces of shit, because there'll be a lot of you. 2 feet is what they're supposed to be. You know what? I say bring on 23 feet. I could handle that. Could walk right through that shit, as long as it's powdery. Why am I so snow confident now? Why do I have snow confidence? It's because I just spent one whole fucking week in northern Wisconsin. Maybe not that north. There was further north to go. I could have gone to Duluth and then Duluth's in Minnesota. Wait, I was as far north as you could go. Yeah. So fuck you, other norths. I got this hat there. What do you think of this shit? Ready? You can tie it. There. Now I look like I'm gonna try and overturn an election. I look like I'm gonna. I in the daytime I manage a troll farm that sows division in democratic countries. That's the look. That's my look. I have to hold on to these because the fucking hat keeps pulling them down. But so what's more important? I look like an idiot with this hat, or I take it off and have my headphones sit comfortably? I think we know the answer. It's both. It's not both. It can't be both. Hold on. Okay. Real fast. See this? Consider this. One of these or all of these. I'm home for a couple days and then I go to Burlington, Vermont to do the Vermont Comedy Club. Vermont Comedy Club. One night only. I'll bring this hat. I'll bring this coat because it's going to be snowy as fucking all hell. And then after that, I'll be in Asheville, North Carolina. What's the weather there like? No idea. Will I bring this hat anyway? You better believe it. That's February 4th. Model Face Comedy is responsible for my appearance there. Special guest, should I say it? Duncan Trussell. Yeah, that's right. He's coming down. He's doing a spot. NickYoussef.com/gigs for tickets. Get them, please. More dates are being added. I'm going to be in Colorado, motherfuckers. And then some more. They're coming. They're going to keep coming until I'm fucking dead. Because I'll die on the road somewhere in a hotel room wearing this hat. Okay. What time to take the hat off. Time to get serious. Let me fix this. Oh. Jeez, that thing works. It's like fucking 20 degrees cooler in here. I have the kind of radiator now that if you look at it, it will be 200 degrees in your apartment in 5 minutes. How do you change that? You can't. You either use it or you don't. There's no middle ground. That's the way these things work. I was able to change the little the radiator fucking valve. There you go. I was able to change that from one that was like to one that's like, which is an improvement because there's no such radiator that's like, it has to do something. It can't be like, it has to always be like, or like when we first turned it on, it was, I was like, I can't even record a fucking podcast in here. I can't watch TV. I can't do anything with this thing on, so I immediately had to change that shit. I didn't know they could be that bad. I thought that was always just like an exaggeration. Um, so there's supposed to be like a massive fucking snowstorm. 2 inches to not 2 inches, sorry, 6 inches to 20. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I should probably have extra batteries and shit. But these days, these fucking iPhones can hold a battery for like 2 goddamn days. I can just use a flashlight there. This is stupid. Actually, when I'm saying this out loud, this is a dumb plan. That shouldn't be my plan. The plan should be have a flashlight with batteries. What do you guys think of this fucking blur effect that's going on here? It's like a new feature in this thing where it just like blurs out all the stuff that who the fuck cares about seeing anyway. Anyway, I'm home for a minute, dude. I've never been in a colder place in my life. I was in Eau Claire doing a show, and my girlfriend's family has a cabin 2-ish, 3, 4, 7, 9 hours north of Eau Claire, and we went and stayed there for like a week, not a week, like 5 days. I had a gig in DC, and then it got canceled because of the pandemic. No, there's a real pandemic, and I totally understand that they canceled it. This is not going there. They actually didn't cancel it. They rescheduled it. So I'll be there May 18th, Washington, D.C., the Comedy Loft. In D.C., that's Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, not the state, but the capital of America. The January 6th, Washington. So, yeah, it was a good place to have a gig be rescheduled because I'm like, oh, well, we're in the middle of fucking the wilderness, so just hang out here for a couple days longer. And dude, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it because I'm like, well, that'll be cool for a day or two in that kind of cold. But then I'm like, what's going to happen after? It turns out I got used to it like probably because I've been in New York and it's been like easier to sort of manage that kind of cold. If I went straight from like Southern California, never having lived on the East Coast, then I would have probably killed myself. No, but I loved it, dude. That negative shit, it's like you really have to focus on not letting it get you, because the moment you're outside, it's like your nose and you feel your eyebrows freezing and your ears, and even when you're wearing like, this fucking massive hat that I have, which I love, and gloves, it still gets you. But the only things that were hard to deal with were like not having fast internet or like cell service. Not because I want to just fucking spend a week in the great North Woods looking through my phone, but like for work stuff, just here and there, I was like, oh, I was planning full on to do a podcast up there. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do it outside in the snow where it's cold. It wasn't feasible. There were too many roadblocks in terms of signal strength and that kind of shit. So I'm like, this is just going to be pure time off, and that's going to be great. And the other thing was not having access to a gym or any sort of like workout, because mentally I need that shit. And it really was like kind of starting to get to me. So like what I did, and this is no joke, I volunteered to shovel all the snow that I could find. And it helped, because shoveling snow, and also so I could add that to the list. When people go, yeah, but you've been to the cold, but you've never had to shovel snow in negative 10 degree. Yeah, now I have. Fuck you, fictional critic that just said that to me about snow. So I did that in the mornings. I woke up and then made it like both like an arm workout and like a leg workout. So I'd get low and just grab as much as I could in this like fucking massive shovel, like the width of like 4 of my heads. And I just like squatted it and then threw it over my shoulder. and then switched arms. So I was like, all right, I'm getting a decent workout. And it made me feel a lot better because I don't know if you know this about Wisconsin, but it is illegal not to eat cheese curds 4 times a day. There will be a cheese officer that just shows up to your house and will force feed you cheese curds. They'll be like, security footage showed that you ordered a salad and a water, and neither of those things had cheese curds in them. So you're either coming downtown and you're going to eat the cheese curds there in front of everybody, or you can. And then he pulled like a paper bag that had like just fucking grease all over it, so you can almost see through it. And I saw through it, and in it were a pound of yellow cheese curds, my preferred curd. And I just had to sit there and shovel them in my face in front of this police officer in the cheese division and my girlfriend, who was crying through it. And it was tragic. I ate them all. I haven't taken a shit in about 5 days, and I honestly don't know if I ever will again. So that kind of eating, that's sort of Midwestern. I had fried water. That's the level of unhealthy that happens in the Midwest, and that's standard. You don't even have to ask, like, "Hey, is there any way the chef could fry my water?" They're like, "No, because it comes that way." In fact, we don't even accept substitutions where you get it unfried. It's either fried water or you get the fuck out of our restaurant. So I probably gained 80 pounds in just breaded, oily substances. It felt uncomfortable, and you're like, you still like get hungry, but not in like a way where you're like, it's your body going, I need food. But then you're like, I can't do this again. But then your stomach's like, we have to do something. What are our options? And the options included eating snow and like birchwood bark, or cheese curds. So what can you do? Cheese curds and fried water. That's what I had. Dude, it was fucking... I don't know that I've ever eaten that intensely, but it was good. That's the thing. And another thing that kind of shocked me about the Midwest over there is that not everyone weighed 850 pounds. There were a lot of people that were like, of average weight, maybe slightly overweight, but given the amount of food and the type of it, I was surprised the obesity wasn't just completely off the charts. Because I know me, man. If I had to live in Wisconsin for like 3 weeks, you'd have to fucking cut me out of my bedroom wall and airlift me to my next gig. It was intense. But I will say this. Being in a cabin for like 5 days and just, what's the objective today? Get up, do fucking zero. Was beautiful. It really was. It was almost more relaxing than going to Hawaii, because Hawaii involved like a lot of going around and like seeing Hawaii, where like when you're like snowed in, you weren't snowed in, we could go places, but when it's just snowy and like, -10, you're like, I don't want to fucking go anywhere. Like we went to like 2 places, which is great. But outside of that, I'm like, I want to just sit and look out that window as if it's a TV and just... And that's what I did. A little bit of hot tub time, a little bit of sauna time, a little bit of me time. Now I'm fucking juiced, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to Burlington, where it's going to be freezing, and then Asheville. I've never been, so hit me with Asheville stuff to eat and drink, non-alcoholic, and see, I guess. Um, I'm pumped about that show. So I feel like, oh, what have I learned on this fucking tour, man? It's been nice. It's been nice to be back on the road and just hitting like city after city and just sort of losing track, just being like waking up in a hotel or an Airbnb or wherever and just being like, where am I? What city? Oh, yeah. Then you walk around and sit and write, and it's just, you have to like fucking work the stuff out and just get it sharper and sharper. And I miss doing that, man. I really miss just like figuring it out, using my fucking head. Why isn't there a laugh here? How can I like, is the time, should I speed this up? Should I cut this? Do I need to add something? Oh, just being back to work. It's the best. And honestly, like really, that's one of the things I'm doing this year for like a resolution is to really cut back on the quality of like social media and just phone usage. Like I have almost everything muted. There are like 5 people that I don't have muted for phone calls and texts, and everything else I'll check it when I fucking want to. And that goes for all social media and like all that stuff. Anything that can come at me from my phone, emails, text messages, social media, all that stuff is like, I don't get the notification because I choose when to look and when to answer. Because once you just give a little bit, oh, well, I should look and I should check, and the dam breaks and you are fucking tied to that thing for hours. I have the notification for my screen usage and my like Instagram time limit and all that stuff. All that is just set up, and I am happier as a result. Like when I'm flying and driving and all that stuff, you're kind of not using it then anyway. And I'm like, I want to feel that most of the day. And it's felt really good to just chip away at it more and more and more and kind of get to a place where like, early smartphone where it's like there wasn't that much to do on there. You could like take photos and read articles on the internet, but there weren't these just fucking like just endless amounts of social media sites where you're just like circling and checking and rechecking. I find myself like reopening Instagram every like few minutes because I'll check it. Oh yeah, this is one of my, and then I leave and I go to Google and look at like news stories, and the next thing I know, I like come to and I'm scrolling through Instagram. I'm like, I don't even notice I'm doing it. That's not a good feeling, to feel like you're not in the driver's seat like that. It's almost like you black out. And I never blacked out when I drank, but except for the one time I was fucking roofied in San Francisco, which I think I've told that story somewhere on here. But yeah, it's like you're doing something, you're aware, and the next thing you know, you're just like, you totally blacked out, and then you're in the middle of another thing. And I've found myself doing that with specifically Instagram too many times, and I was like, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that anymore. What's the way out? Set the time limits, put the phone away, leave it in, the apartment if I'm going for like a walk or go sit at a coffee shop or whatever. Just keep it away. And the only things I don't have muted are a small handful of people that can call and text me, and my Discord for my Patreon, because that's a different type of relationship. So anything Patreon and the Discord that goes with the Patreon, I have that just like, that's like an open line of communication because it's part of the thing in a very specific, different way. And I don't view that as a waste because it's more like of a kind of specific community that I want to sort of engage in. And I'm hoping I can like push that through for like, I don't know, hopefully most of a year. If it's, and that's the thing with like resolutions and stuff. It's like it doesn't need to be the whole year, as long as you like try really hard. And if you like get 70% of the desired outcome, that's 70% more than you had on December 30th of the year before. And that's how I sort of like view it. And I always take it as a win, as long as I can get above like 50% of what my goal was. You know, you try for 100, and then I think I did that a couple years ago when I was like, I'm going to listen to a new song or I think it was a new album every day for a year. And I think I got above 365 because as time went on, I would skip days. And then it occurred to me, which it should have before, but I'm dumb. I was like, oh, it doesn't need to be one a day. It can be more. The fuck? So if I miss a day, I listen to 3 albums before, I'm good. So I just sort of like, as the months went on, I was like, we'll feel it out and go, you know, I'm not going to force an album today if I listened to 2 yesterday. And then tomorrow, let's say, is like a travel day or like a long bike ride day or something. I'm knocking out 4 fucking albums. And it was great. I didn't think I could do it, but I did, and it was good. I recommend that one as a resolution if you don't have one yet. And it's fine. It's only December. That's another one. Who cares if you didn't start January 1st? Start January 17th or whatever. You still have 11 goddamn months. But when you do, try 100% and be happy with the 60, 70, 80. Because you still improved as a person, you know, from the year before. And then you will have
a very particular set of skills
that you can use on your friends and enemies. I don't know how I feel about this fucking blurry effect. Anyway, it's cold. So I'm gonna hide out. Okay. Next episode will be Patreon only, where I'll dig into some more personal goodies. And I'll do a couple of more before I leave town again, because as much as I want to do these on the road, it just doesn't fucking work, especially with the video component. Like, you're staying at places that just are like, we barely have Wi-Fi. It's probably dial up and we're not telling you. It's fucking terrible. So I'll try my best. I'll try and get him out there. And listen, if you go to Wisconsin, the cheese curd thing is real. Like, you got to find a place that does them right. And some of them are fucking like that big, dude. And they're breaded lightly and fried. Fuck. I had white ones, and those were fine. But really, the yellow ones are where it's at. The flavor is like, oh. And you just find yourself eating like 15 of them. And you don't even notice it. I probably shaved a few years off my life just spending a week in Wisconsin. And I might go back in a few months. I'm working on like a couple other gigs over there. By the way, I went to this place. I'm trying not to spill it as I adjust it. God, that would be embarrassing if I spilled this coffee all over my fucking laptop. Shift Coffee. What they are is a coffee shop / bike shop in downtown Eau Claire. 2 of my favorite things in one place. I recommend that for your daily coffee needs. And there's another place called Wonder State. There's like a couple of those in Wisconsin. Good quality coffee, nice people. It's the real deal. But anyway, I think that's it. That's just a quick catch up on where the fuck I've been and how breaded my fucking heart is right now. It feels terrible. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
It's the end of the show. like, subscribe, and comment. And don't be a